Canon is quietly cooking up two very different beasts. The Canon R6 III is whispered to be the next evolution of Canon's full-frame hybrid line, trading up from the 24 megapixels of its predecessor to a rumored 30 or even 32 megapixels, while keeping the speed and low-light chops that made the R6 series a favorite. At the same time, the Canon R7 II is going to be a shocker in the APS-C world, with talk of a 40 megapixel sensor and even the possibility of 8K video recording, a spec that would have seemed unthinkable on crop sensors just a few years ago. Imagine a full-frame camera that gives you extra detail without sacrificing speed, and an APS-C camera that rivals some medium format resolutions in sheer pixel count. With leaks and whispers pointing to announcements on the horizon, the stage is set for one of the most intriguing head-to-head comparisons Canon has ever offered. The sensor and image chain are the heart of the difference. The predecessor, R6 II, uses a 24.2 megapixel full-frame sensor that prioritizes speed and low noise. The rumor consensus around the R6 III points toward a moderate resolution increase to roughly 30 to 32 megapixels, while maintaining fast readout. That shift is meaningful because it brings more detail without forcing a trade-off towards slow file handling. The R7 II rumors lean much higher on resolution for APS-C, with many sources suggesting around 40 megapixels. That is a larger leap relative to the current R7, which already sits at 32.5 megapixels, and it would put APS-C into territory usually reserved for medium-resolution full-frame bodies. Higher native resolution on APS-C yields more cropping flexibility and a greater apparent reach for wildlife and sports, but it also amplifies noise at very high sensitivities and increases storage demands. Video capability is a major battleground. The R6 III is expected to strengthen hybrid performance with cleaner high bitrate video, sustained record times, and improved rolling shutter control thanks to faster sensor readout. The R7 II is the outlier rumor-wise because some leaks suggest it could offer 8K video capture in at least some modes. If that speculation proves true, Canon would be pushing its APS-C platform into an aggressive video niche. Practically speaking, 8K video on crop sensors raises questions about overheating, recording formats, and whether the body can sustain long professional takes. For most creators, what matters is codec efficiency, color depth, and whether the camera outputs clean 12 or 10-bit RAW or log capture. Expect Canon to position the R6 III as the safer hybrid pick and the R7 II as the high-resolution APS-C specialist. Autofocus and electronic systems are where small differences feel large in practice. Canon's dual-pixel 2 autofocus means both cameras will likely be very competent for tracking people and animals. What changes between models is the tuning, the processing power available for subject detection, and how aggressively the camera prioritizes face and eye detection versus speed of acquisition. Reports suggest the R6 III will borrow autofocus advances from Canon's higher-tier bodies to reduce false positives and improve subject reacquisition after temporary occlusion. The R7 II rumors emphasize electronic shutter performance and potentially a more shutterless design ethos. Moving toward an electronic shutter-first architecture can allow extremely high continuous frame rates and silent operation, but it also forces engineers to solve rolling shutter, highlight rendering, and flash synchronization challenges. Stabilization and handling are practical differences you will notice on set. The R6 II already offered in-body image stabilization and strong ergonomics for handheld work. The R6 III is expected to iterate on that with refined stabilization algorithms and perhaps marginally improved performance to complement its higher resolution sensor. For the R7 II, maintaining or improving in-body image stabilization is critical because higher pixel counts reveal more motion blur at equivalent shutter speeds. Ergonomics rumors point at a slightly larger body for the R7 II, borrowing cues from Canon's higher-end full-frame models to provide a more substantial grip and better button layout for professional workflows. Buffer capacity, file handling, and storage interfaces are not glamorous, but they are decisive in real shoots. Higher megapixel files increase write demands and buffer fill rates, so dual card slots and high-speed interface options are a must. The R6 III should balance resolution and throughput to preserve long burst performance, while the R7 II's larger files will need more aggressive buffering and card bandwidth. Expect Canon to push faster memory card standards and prioritize reliable sustained writes for video recording. Compared to their predecessors, the two cameras represent different philosophies. The R6 III looks like an incremental but meaningful step for full-frame photographers who wanted more detail than the R6 II without sacrificing speed and low-light capability. It is about filling a gap between the R6 line and Canon's top-end R-series bodies. The R7 II, on the other hand, appears to be a more disruptive generation for APS-C, taking a bold resolution step and possibly treating the format as a serious video platform rather than a budget alternative. Which camera suits you in the real world depends on your priorities. Choose the R6 III if you need the full-frame advantages: cleaner high ISO performance, shallower depth of field when required, and a balanced hybrid tool that handles a wide range of assignments. Wait for the R7 II if you want maximum resolution in APS-C for sports, wildlife, or any workflow where cropping and subject reach are valuable, and if you are comfortable handling heavier files and potentially more aggressive thermal and storage management when shooting video. Competitors matter because Canon will not release these bodies in isolation. For the Canon R6 III, the most direct competition comes from Sony a7 IV and the rumored Sony a7 V, because both are full-frame hybrids in the same 33-megapixel class with strong autofocus and high bitrate video modes. Nikon is in the picture with the Nikon Z6 III, which is expected to land in a similar price tier and resolution range. For the R7 II, the sharper competition comes from APS-C and crop sensor flagships. Fujifilm is the clear rival here, especially the Fujifilm X-H2 with its 40-megapixel APS-C sensor and full 8K video capability. The Fujifilm X-T5 also plays in the same resolution class with strong stills performance. Even Nikon's ZFC2 and possible Z70 class APS-C body are part of the same conversation if Nikon continues building out its crop sensor lineup. When it comes to timing, nothing has been officially confirmed, but consistent leaks point toward late 2025 to early 2026 as the window for Canon's next major announcements. The Canon R6 III is rumored to be unveiled before the end of the year, with some reports indicating an announcement around November, possibly tied to Canon's presence at the International Broadcasting Convention. The Canon R7 II appears to be a little further out, with most chatter pointing to a launch in early 2026, depending on Canon's product calendar and how production schedules line up. The R6 III pushes full-frame resolution and hybrid reliability, while the R7 II stretches APS-C into new high-resolution and video territory, giving creators two very different but equally compelling options.